Hi everyone, Jeff here from InspectorPrime, and in this video I'm going to walk you through the entire workflow that occurs from the time that a client uses your client intake form on your website and their data gets moved into the InspectorPrime Office database, and then moving over into actually setting yourself up to conduct the inspection within your InspectorPrime residential database, conducting the inspection, and then delivering the results to your client. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so before we get started, let me get you oriented to these screens here. On the right side is where we're going to do our residential inspection and everything kind of tied with that, including cloning our master residential template. And then on the left side, I'm going to run through our client intake form that comes with the system that you can embed on your website. And I'll show you how that pops up into our jobs and services management and kind of the workflow for that. So let's go ahead and start with the book our services. So we're going to do a residential one, single family. Time slot management, we have a whole separate video that covers time slot management, so we won't go into detail on that, but just know each one of these time slots is tied to an employee that then ties them to the job. So we're going to do October 10th at 11. We'll do our client name. Mixing up my Halloween characters here. Okay. You can add the client's agent. We'll just do Abigail. Yes, we'll share. Add an additional one if you want to. Street address, we'll do say they have a basement, 2006. 3,000 square feet. 344. And just clicking through all these. This is all just information to help you as a business owner be better prepared as you're going into it. I'm not going to get into details on all these, but okay. So now we're at the service selection. Again, whole other tutorial on how to set these up, but we'll say this is a pre-purchase inspection with a sewer scope. All of these, again, just a reminder, these are all customizable and reactive. So if you want to recommend services that are unique to your area or your client base, you can put those here. And then, so we'll do sewer scope. It disappears once you select the different service. Okay, the final details here, if they want to drop any supporting documents, discount codes, that kind of stuff. Instructions for what to expect next, which we'll talk about service agreement and payment instructions here in a second. But we're going to go ahead and finish and confirm. Okay, it was submitted successfully. So let's exit out of this. And now we are in our job and service management. And you can see we've got Jason Voorhees right here. So let's go ahead and open this up to get started. So this will pop up automatically, obviously, after submitting the form. You'll get notified on your phone or desktop or whatever you're on that this happened. And then you can go in as the business owner and kind of fill in the details to get yourself prepped to conduct the job. So right now, job status is unconfirmed and scheduling is in progress. We have not assigned any services yet, so we'll wait on that. There's the full address. Little typo there. Sorry about that. Trying to type too fast here. The time slot, as well as our employee that's going to be doing it. Our client agent again. Any of the supporting documents that they dropped. And then going to stop here for a second to talk about the payment and agreements. So at InspectorPrime, we decided we didn't want to be in the business of being middlemen for you guys. You already have enough fees and added expenses to running the business. We don't need to be taking more from you. So we are not payment processors, and we do not have a proprietary agreement integration that would cost you guys extra. So let's say you have Stripe. As you're going through this, you finalize your quote. You decide this is the correct price. You simply just go into Stripe and generate a payment link and drop that in here. And then that'll get sent out when we do the automation send job details to client. And same with agreement. So InterNACHI has a really good free agreement system. We recommend you use that, or DocuSign or any other service. You just drop that agreement link right into here, and you can kind of track the different statuses of those for when we're getting prepped to send the job details to the client. Okay, again, just the client order. So they got the pre-purchase inspection as well as the sewer scope. All these fields that they filled out. I'll fix that typo right there. Also added an extra CO at the end of that. Man, I was flying, huh? Okay. We have our cost here. Okay, now we're down at service management. So the assigned employee to that time slot was Mr. Grayson. So we'll go ahead and fill this out as if he's actually doing it. So we can go ahead and change all of these to scheduled now that we're in the midst of getting this job actually accomplished. You can go field by field to select that if you want to, or you can just Control C to copy, highlight, and paste like any other spreadsheet. Okay, we have that. And I've got this zoomed in quite a bit just so you can see it. This will be a lot bigger. Oh, there we go. Okay, a lot bigger if I hide that. Okay, and then our role management, again, separate videos explaining that, but we'll go ahead, do Dick Grayson sewer scope, and then him as an inspector. Add some equipment. Oops, there we go. Okay, we'll do our commission eligibility here. Again, separate video on this, but if you also want to do commission for the different fees that you have, that's just our service fee commission. We're not going to do that just for the sake of time here. We want to get into the kind of meat and potatoes of this. Okay, so we've got two services that we've designated as valid for a commission. So we're going to add 2 for Mr. Grayson. Submit, and now those 2 records will pop up right here. There's 1, there's 2. You can see they pop up down here. So we'll change that just to approved for now. And then we'll also use our AI agent to determine the commission amount based on the percentages that we want. Then you can also track the date the commission gets paid. Okay, so now all of these services have been scheduled. We now go up here and we've put our payment link in and our agreement link. We have now assigned all of our services, so we check that box. You can still see unconfirmed scheduling in progress. You can mark this as a quote and send it off as just a quote if you wanted to, or you could talk through it on the phone with them. Whatever, it's up to you. That's the flexibility of the system. So now what we're going to do is send the job details to the client, and this will trigger a workflow. So in the background now, an email is getting sent out with the agreement link, the payment link for them to pay through, as well as just the general details for the job. And we can see now our job status has changed to confirmed and email sent to client. So let's say this was done like a week prior or so. You've received payment. So we'll say paid in full. They did credit card on the 5th. We'll say they paid 1118. See that zeroes out our total here. So if you put a lesser amount, maybe they can only do 1,000 now. It'll keep track of that 118 that they still owe. And let's say they signed their agreement. Okay, so those are all done now. Okay, so now let's prep for the actual inspection. So we're going to jump over to the right side of the screen now. This should look familiar. This is how we delivered InspectorPrime, the different tools depending on what you purchased, to you. We recommend, so with your workspaces, that you have, if you buy all three, let's say you bought all three, you have a workspace for your office management, you have a workspace for your commercial, and you have a workspace for residential. And then you would have your office template in the office one, or rather, yeah, the office one and the office one. And then you would have your master templates for both residential and commercial in their respective workplaces. And that's where they stay, because that's where all of your inspections are going to get done. So let's say we're in our residential workspace, and this is the master template that you have gone through. You have changed all of the generic links away from our InspectorPrime stuff to your company specific information. You've updated your logo, you've changed the different fields that you want to see based on your client feedback, and you've manipulated everything so it's exactly how you want to deliver it to your client. Okay, so with that, to clone or duplicate your master template to use for the inspection, we're going to click on this three-dot menu and duplicate. Now, our best practice that we recommend that's worked for us is you just name this inspection, this property, so that you don't get it confused with your master template. And now we want to keep duplicate records, but we want to turn off duplicate comments. And then we'll create that. Okay, there it goes. We'll hit done, and it pops up right here. Okay, so now we're at a stage that entirely depends on your preferences. So let's say we're still a couple days out, but we want to get this as prepared as possible. So what we're going to do is go ahead into our inspection. So again, just pretend that this is not here and this is not here. This is only your residential inspections, and you can have up to 500 in this workspace. If you need to search for a specific property, you can do it in here to pull up the inspection you're looking for. Once you reach 500, you simply create a new workspace for residential. So let's say you've filled up your 500 for 2025. You just simply create a new workspace, label it 2026, or however you want to name that. Yeah. So to prepare even further, let's go ahead and we're going to click into this inspection now. If it opens into the data view, just click on interfaces and publish, so that we get into the actual inspection. You can see here, we've got the address up here. So client portal up top. So this is what your clients will see. If you don't want them to see some of these areas, it's very easy to hide this. You just edit pages, and let's say we want to hide these. You can see those disappearing here on the screen. I'm gonna unhide them. Now, why you might want to do that. So let's say your standard publish, sorry, can't click and talk at the same time. So let's say that your workflow is that you like to get this all prepped and then deliver the client portal right away. So you want to send an email to your customer like, hey, this is where you're going to view your report when it's actually delivered. In the meantime, you can see some welcome information about our team, process, and these other tabs. But you don't want them to see the blank inspection, essentially. So you go in, you do that edit pages, and you hide these, and they wouldn't be able to see those until you're ready to turn them back on and deliver their report. Okay. That's the client portal, and I'll show you how to share that when we're ready to actually deliver the report. But for now, let's get this prepped to actually conduct the inspection. Let's go down to the inspector portal, the property details. So you can see every time you clone your master, you're going to have replace this address located here. All you need to do is click on it and punch in your address that you're inspecting. So let's see if that's still in my, yes it is. Okay, cool. So now we're in the process of creating the actual inspection that we're going to be using. Okay. You can start filling in these fields as applicable. So we know that this is going to start on October 10th at 11. We don't yet know when it's done, but if you want to put in how long it actually is, we'll just say that we're in and out of here in 3 hours, 4 hours. Now you can just, and these aren't connected, so they won't sync up, which is by design. We don't want to get kind of cross-contaminated, if you will, between our office management and our actual inspections. So this is a little bit of manual effort, but kind of well worth it with the level of detail that you're able to get with all of this data. So okay, so let's go ahead down. We're at our primary services, so we'll go ahead and add our pre-purchase inspection as well as our sewer scope. Employee profile. If you have more than one, you can add them in here. This is just our demo environment, so we've only got the one inspector. You can add the client's name. So this was that was the agent. So let's do our client. And then our agent was Abigail Turner. The phone number, and then our address again, just so that it displays in a few different places within the report. In attendance, you can, obviously the inspector will do this on site. Single family, do we have this as occupied or vacant? Not that it really matters for our purposes, but okay, so it's occupied. Was that 2006? Okay, there you go. There's the property age, 3000. And I think we did 4 and 4. But again, this is just copying straight over from here. And then once the inspector's on site, they can do all of the rest of this essentially. So pause there. So that was the prep work to essentially intake your client, fill out what is needed to be filled out in your office management tool, and then what it takes to clone and create and prep for this actual inspection. So let's say that we're the day of the inspection now, and it's time to do it. So we have our inspector. He's on his way to conduct it. So we can go up here, and rather than mess with these drop downs, we have this all automated. It's marked as in progress. And in progress. Again, I'm just going to Control C, Control V to copy and paste, just like any other spreadsheet there. And that's all we need to do for the in progress piece on the office side. Now let's say we are the inspector on site getting ready to do this. So we have all this info that we already filled out prior to coming out. And now we can start here. So with our files and additional media. So property profile image is right here. We have our results files, additional media, spots for maybe like a drone video or a sewer scope. But we'll start with the property profile image. So let's say you're on a tablet or your phone You just click on this, it gives you the option to take a picture. Boom, you can take that property profile image right here. And it'll upload and populate throughout the report where it's supposed to pop up. Here's the client request sheet. If you wanted to drop a link in that, another video on that. I'm not going to get into it right now. And then we get into the systems. So this is a checklist essentially for the inspector. So if you want to do it by system, you can. If you want to do it by any other organization, that's totally up to you. All of this is customizable when you go in and you edit the pages. So you can add different fields, change all of this up. Again, it's totally up to you how you want your master template to look and how it's presented to your client. For time's sake, I'm going to go ahead and click through all of these just so that we have data in here. And then I'll talk you through how to actually add narratives for different discoveries. Okay, so now I have gone through and just filled all of these different fields as if an inspector would as they're going through. Now, what if you get to a defect? You find something wrong. How do you annotate that, or how do you add that to the report? So let's say you were on the roof and you noticed a missing ridge shingle. So you want to note that as you're doing the roof system. All you need to do is go to, actually, sorry, let me back up. Let's just go down and run through this first. So findings dashboard, you can see this is all zeroed out. Narratives, this is all of your narratives within your library. This doesn't mean that all of them are applied to the property, which I'll show you in a second. And then we're in all narratives. So you have gone up on the roof, noticed a missing ridge shingle there. So all you need to do to tie that defect to this inspection is search. We'll say ridge. And look at that. We have missing ridge shingles already in our narrative library. To tie it to the property, and there will only ever be one property listed. This isn't like it's going to populate with all the different properties that you've ever inspected. Because this database is tied only to this property, this is the only property that will show up. So you're not going to have to like search through that or do any of that. We tie it to the property. We can mark it for review if we want to. We'll create a narrative and I'll show you how that kind of process works. But now that has been tied to the property from our overall narratives library, let's go back to the inspection dashboard, and now we can see we now have data populating in this report. So let's go back and let's say we've added our narrative, we're back in our checklist, we're going down. We get to electrical, and let's say we've discovered a loose fixture in one of the bedrooms. Go to all narratives. Loose, not seeing it. Let's keep typing. Fixture. Nope, so we don't have loose fixture yet in our narrative library. So what do? We simply create a new narrative. Light fixture narrative really quick. Master bedroom. It's automatically flagged for review. We just have it set up that way as a added check. Sure, yep. Finding type defect. Bedroom 1. System electrical, recommendation repair. The qualified contractor would be an electrician. We add the picture directly in here, and then we can add additional details if we want to. So let's go ahead and create that. It's already tied to the property because we're creating it here. And you'll see it has now popped up in our all narratives. So as you're adding narratives to the property, it will auto move it up to the top of the list, so you're not having to scroll through the list of potentially thousands of narratives to get it figured out. Now, let's say you are a multi-team inspector. You're the business owner sitting back in your office managing your different teams, and you have this open because you can have this inspection open as your inspector's doing it. Excuse me. And you noticed a new one popped up that's flagged for review. All you need to do is go in. You can check out what your inspector has written. So this is why I put a short one in, because we've trained an AI bot to help write narratives. So you can use that if you want to. Obviously, you don't have to. Just meant to kind of help out if you need it. It spits out that AI narrative that you can then use. You can go through, check it out, and all that. Okay, so you as the owner have gone through and reviewed it. Cool. And now it is no longer up for review. Let's remark it for review, and we can go up to our narratives dashboard. So you can either watch this all narratives as they pop up, or you can just sit on the narratives dashboard, and as narratives are coming up for review, you can expand, open, check it, and now it's zeroed out. Okay. And that's how easy it is to add narratives as you're going through the property details and going system by system. If you find something, go to all narratives on your phone, snap a picture, type a quick narrative, and it gets added for you. And then you can see it in the inspection dashboard as you are building the report real time. What I did not cover, so like missing ridge shingles here, what I didn't cover, I just added the property right there. But to add a picture to this, so we recommend all of your supporting media be blank in your all narratives library, so that you can tie it to the specific property as you're doing the inspection. So you simply open this up, click on it on your phone or tablet. It gives you the option to open in camera, snap your picture, it'll pop up right there. Okay, so rather than just add a bunch of narratives here for the sake of adding them, I hope that's pretty straightforward and easy to understand. There's informational ones, there's defects, there's hazards, all the fun stuff that comes with doing an inspection, and you can classify all of your findings accordingly. Rather than go through and add a bunch of narratives, which I don't think is necessary for this video, let's go ahead and move on to actually delivering the report. So let's say your inspector is all done, and we're just compiling the data, doing our last minute reviews to make sure that everything is complete. We'll scroll down to the bottom here. We're doing our final walkthrough to make sure that everything is done. We're not leaving ovens on, or lights, or water faucets. You can add some notes in here as well as any media. Okay, so you are done with the inspection. What do we do now? Okay, so what you're going to do now is, again, you don't need to verify this. I'm just showing you for the sake of showing you. You can see those narratives that we tied to this inspection automatically pop up in the client portal. So as you're doing the inspection, they're showing up real time within this client portal. Now, let's say you've polished everything up, verified everything, all your flags for review have been done. Now it's time to deliver the report. What you're going to do is you're going to edit pages on the client portal, and you're going to share interface. Just verify again, you're sharing the client portal. We're going to go down to invite via link, create new link. This is very important. We never want to send editor permission to our clients, because that will incur another Airtable license for you under the business plan. So always make sure that you're selecting either commenter or read only. commenter. They'll be able to go in and comment on the videos or photos that you've been taking, ask questions on things, and be a little bit more interactive. Read only is obviously only read only. Okay. Okay, allow an email address, commenter. Now we're going to create the link. All right. Then copy link. And now we're going to go back into our InspectorPrime office. And we're going to paste that link into our online results. And then additionally, let's say that you like PDFs and you like delivering the summary report as a PDF as well. You can do that here. Save it as a PDF. Got your defects right here. And then you can drop that PDF right into these results files. Or maybe there's a sewer scope video file that you want to drop in there. Whatever. It's totally up to you, depending on what you want to do. Drop that in there. Okay. So now we are complete with our inspection. Let's Control C, Control V that. Complete. Complete. Nothing else we need to update here. We'll pay Dick later, so we'll leave that as approved. We're paid. We've got our agreement signed. Now we are awaiting results. So our results are done. We have pasted our online results there. Now we select completed awaiting results. And you can see that added some additional buttons for us to click. Again, just a final check to make sure that everything is ready to be sent. Set the job tags to ready. And now you can send the results to all directly from here. So they'll receive that PDF that you might have attached as well as the link to the client portal. So you can send it to all, the client's agent will just do results to all. And that job went in the background. That email has been sent. So now this job is completed and the results have been sent to all. So that was the workflow. Okay. So yeah, I think that's a good spot to end for this video. Gave you a good idea of how to do the inspection, how to manage client intake and tie it to your inspection and actually complete it. So we'll call that good for this video. As always, thank you for being an InspectorPrime customer, and I will see you on the next video.